Xander, what were the two lesions removed here, please?
The first lesion on the ICP was tubular adenoma low-grade dysplasia, and then there was a 2-bite piecemeal EMR contralateral to the valve. And that was also tubular adenoma with low-grade dysplasia. And I don't think that there was any other hot snare resection in this case.
So I think probably we should move on to the meat of this course, which is the polyp. So why don't we come back to, well, you've got a polyp here. Do you want to try and tackle that first, and then we go to the sigmoid? Okay. So does that, don't unfreeze, I know you're tempted. Does that change what we do here? That it is 1 SP, well, firstly, does that change the risk of cancer? 2, does that change what we do in terms of technique? So just to recap for those, blink was negative. It's spread over to 20 millimeter, maybe 25 in the sigmoid, not in the rectum. It's mixture of non-granular and granular. So therefore we can call it non-granular. And it is Paris classification 1 SP. So what is the risk of buried cancer in this polyp in terms of decision-making about technique? Should it be on block or not?
No, I wouldn't say so.
We know that, I mean, there's maybe one technique we haven't discussed, which could be interesting for this.
Underwater.
Yeah, I mean, I think in underwater with a 20 millimeter snare, for sure, because this is going to make the sigmoid much better, right? Because we're going to weigh it down with water. Maybe it's going to let the thing float in. Maybe it allows us to get it on block when we otherwise wouldn't. I think these sorts of, what is 20 to 25, maybe 30, these are the sorts of lesions where underwaters, I'm not an anti-underwater guy.
I know.
I just think that every technique has its place.
So
I don't agree. I mean, but sure, maybe that's just fat. But in the 1% chance that you're wrong, this guy is 82 years old. What is the cost of doing something about it, and what is the cost benefit? I don't know. That's to be discussed for sure.
But are there two reasons to clip? One, you're not 100% certain that you haven't gone through the muscle.
So it was a very interesting case. I actually enjoyed that. It's very interesting there. We have an English phrase saying there are many ways to skin a cat. And what that means is that there are several ways to do something, and there's not always an optimal choice. Sometimes choices are equivalent, or one may be better than another in a given situation. So this is the Paris classification. As I said to you, there are either protuberant lesions, which means they stick up. 1S, 1SP, 1P, 1S, sorry, 1S, 1P, 1SP. 1 sessile, 1 pedunculated, 1 sessile pedunculated. Okay. They're either flat lesions, so they're less than 2.5 millimeters, and they're either just sticking above the mucosa, 1A. They're below the mucosa, 1C, or they're on the mucosa, completely flat, 1B. So you've got you're attacking it with your scopus here, and you're trying to get your snare, and what you don't want to do is leave a little bit at the back. What you can do is lift it towards the scope, and you do that by doing a series of injections. And I call this as a rolling wave, if you want to phrase it like that. I first heard that from Brian Saunders many, many years ago, because you do a lift, then a lift, then a lift, and the wave rolls this way. What happens is it pushes up the mucosa at the back and allows you to put your snare down.
And so I think that these are the things that, to become excellent at therapeutic endoscopy, you must learn in relatively simple situations. You must force yourself not to tolerate mediocrity. So this is good. This is not mediocrity, but just to use the terminology, do not allow yourself to tolerate this in an easy, because this is not such a difficult situation. So that in the future, if you need to achieve something, you can do it, right?
I just want you to consider an LST. Okay, so this is an LST. If it has a big nodule here, it goes from being an LSTG into an LST mixed nodular. Right? It's not the reason I'm showing you this diagram. The reason I'm showing the diagram is for the planes. So when you're going to approach something like this, the first question I put up here at the top is what is going around the back.